if we are all growing and changing right now, we may as well change for the better, right? So let's work on our inclusion, shall we? Okay, so firstly, let me say that inclusion is an incredibly broad term. And, we're not going to cover everything right now. This is a micro lesson, not a course. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use a case company, and we're going to pull out some universal tips from this. So that way you can find something that you can use in your own company, no matter what kind of inclusion or what kind of voices you're trying to amplify right now. And for this case company today, we are going to look at Supermetrics. Supermetrics is a Helsinki-based marketing data startup. It's a vibrant scaling tech company with offices in 3 countries and about 100 employees. Now, of these employees, I had the chance to talk with Vivi Martinen of Supermetrics People Operations. And in this informal conversation, Vivi gave some very useful examples of how Supermetrics is growing their inclusion in these work from home times. There are some things we can definitely learn from here, so listen up and we will learn together.
So like a little bit of background, since Helsinki is where where we hail from. So like this is our like home nest. Mm-hmm. And then both Vilnius Atlanta offices have been opened last year. Mm-hmm. And Atlanta has been up and running for a year now. But still, I've always had a concern, like, do they feel like included? Do they feel like part of the team? Because that's something that we definitely want to have, like a really strong team spirit, even though we're not in the same location. All of our all hands on deck meetings have happened from Helsinki before. Yeah. So now all of us being in our homes, working from our own houses, there is no like one central office. So that's something that I think has really kind of been interesting, that now we're put to the same line. Like now all of the information that is shared is equal, because there is no casual coffee talk in the kitchen, apart from the virtual kitchen where anyone from any location could like just hop in. We've had the thought that we would want to make our monthly all hands on deck meetings rotate between different offices. So like each office would have their own turn in hosting. Yeah. So that way we would all be remote some of the time. So I think that will probably happen. I hope it'll happen. My colleague Marika, actually, she had this great idea of having like a weekly coffee buddy lottery. So now we have a channel and we're using this Slack bot called Donut to match people up with each other on a weekly basis. Right. And like give some icebreakers to kind of like get the conversation going, because now we're across 3 different locations. Still, and some of your colleagues you might have never met in person, especially the ones who have started within the last 2 months. We have some channels for feedback for like if you really want to kind of bring up something bigger anonymously, but have it like answered in our own hands on deck meeting, because we want to be polite and respectful to each other, while like having that like that ability to submit questions or feedback and then know that it will be addressed, I think is pretty good. I would definitely keep those weekly coffee moments, because I feel like not only do they help people feel more included and help them form those relationships and feel more at ease with asking people for help or ideas or comments to their work, or just like brainstorming. I think it also helps with the like kind of larger kind of team spirit and feeling included. So that's something I would definitely keep, like a cross location, cross team kind of coffee intros.
So let's review. Supermetrics is a scaling company, and they've learned that while working from home, they can better support how they scale their organization through scaling their inclusion as well. Now, Inclusion is such a broad subject, though, that you have to choose an area or an issue to prioritize addressing. And Supermetrics chose geographic inclusion. After choosing an issue, Supermetrics could be concrete in shaping solutions. They realized they could circulate hosting abilities. They could add new tools and opportunities for people to have more equal and accessible input. They added things like donut and new coffee lotteries for not only new communicative channels, but to foster meaningful connections across the company. These tools and practices are not just initiatives or stopgap measures during this work from home period. These are practices they'll actually take with them, integrating them into their communicative culture. So, while these are tips that are gleaned from an organization looking to grow its geographic inclusion, these are actually tips that you can apply at any growth stage and really with any kind of inclusion that you're trying to develop in your organization. Inclusion is a good way to grow, and I do hope you'll take on the challenge in these work from home times and beyond to push yourselves to develop in this way, to really use inclusion as a way to go back better. Oh, and FYI, if the topic of inclusion interests you, I'm actually putting out a video next week that kind of delves into a little deeper insights and considerations for organizations looking to grow in this area. So keep watching, keep learning, and keep looking for new ways to go back better.